When is a door not a door? When it's a jar. I just try to put at least one dad joke in every video. In all seriousness, I am down in the woods. I am down here. I got the taco ready to go here. Drove clear down across the field. Don't have four-wheelers anymore. Don't have all the fun stuff. The Ranger's gone. The kingdom of Bungie is totally different in this day and age, is it not? But one thing that remains the same is the 100-year-old apple tree. Look at that guy, huh? Look at that tree. That looks fantastic. That tree is starting to look pretty good. It's really holding its own this year. If you look at it, I bet I can zoom in even more. I know I can. Look at the apples on that tree. And here's what's amazing. That tree, aside from being like 100 years old, this was planted by my grandfather. I think my great-grandfather is still alive. So that thing is an old tree. It was part of an orchard here. It's the last one of the orchard, the original orchard that was here, that would have been planted by my mother's side of the family. You can see a few other trees in here, though, right, that I planted. So hopefully someday there'll be more trees. One of these guys, I think it's this one right here, actually has some apples on it, or it might be that one. And I planted some oaks over there and out here and all that good stuff here in the kingdom of Bungie. Fortunately, I still have access to the kingdom of Bungie, so I'm going to make the best of it. Genevieve and I have plans to hunt over that tree. Even though it's an even number year, it's producing apples. Typically, we don't get that. We get the apples in odd numbers years, but last year there was a late frost. It didn't produce any apples, so this year it's got enough energy left over to produce apples this year. I think that's what's going on with it. And it had some issues. It really did. I got my theories on that, on what the issues were. But I've left it alone. I've cleaned out some of the competition over there, cut some trees, hack and squirted some trees, got some more sunlight in there, less trees taking moisture up, less trees using the nutrients. Leave that one alone, and it seems to have responded nicely. Here we are in late July, and right through here, by this time last year, I think we would have had dead branches. We might have them by the end of the year, okay? Leaves falling off, all that sort of thing. But in previous years, last few years, last few apple seasons, we've just had green up at the very top by the time the hunting season came around. This year, it's holding green. Man, fingers crossed. It looks fantastic. It looks as good or better than it did years and years ago. But it is a nice, healthy, happy tree. And when you have apples, what do? You hunt the apples. Great. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be hunting the apples, and we're looking for a tree. Right over here, there's a maple. Right here, this scrubby looking thing. Genevieve and I are going to put a one-man tree stand in that, so we'll have our backs down the hill, so they won't be able to look down the hill at us. And as the deer come up out of the swamp, or from over at the well pad food plot area or whatever, make their way up through here, up the ridge, come in from the neighbor's bedding area, clear out in there, we'll be able to see them silhouetted by this scrubby big maple right here that leans and everything else. It's going to be a problem to put a tree stand in that, but it'll be a nice spot, and I think it'll work well for me and Genevieve. We can climb right in there, got easy access in and out. I probably won't park this close or anything like that. We'll be able to sit right there and be able to have a 25, 30-yard shot. I've got some shooting lanes going out in there. It's going to be perfect. So what we're going to do today, you and me, we're going to go look at a different tree stand location over on the Ridge Staging food plot. Got a 2-man that we put up there. I bought it used off of Facebook. And Genevieve and I got it leaned up against the tree. I got ratchet straps. I got it attached to it. Didn't have a ladder. No way to really put them on there. But I'm going to get that done today. Making the use of the time that I have available. Well, it's still standing up. That's a good sign, right? Got to watch where I'm walking here. The Ridge Staging food plot looks more like a weedy mess, doesn't it? If you ever wondered what a weedy mess looks like, it is a good example of one. This has been overtaken with Canadian clearweed. Let's go take a look at that. What the heck? Put my sticks down. Climbing sticks, we're going to put them to good use. For what it's worth, I am wearing a harness, and I got a lineman's rope on here to practice my climbing skills as we get going on this. Canadian clearweed, if you wondered what that looks like, you're seeing some of it there, along with chickweed. That's another big one that grows in here. And clover, the big 3 C's, right? Believe it or not, deer eat most of that stuff, and there's some good clover in here. I did not replenish it this year. I have been so busy. I have been busier. That is I think that's the clearweed or dockweed or something, I don't know. That's probably a tree, I don't. Here is our mock scrape, which is mocking scrape. It's more of a mocking scrape right now. It's kind of mocking me. I don't think it really attracts much for deer. Not that they'd be that active this time of year anyway with that, but You know it's pretty bad when you got pickers. Big old picker. Yep, that's just what you need in a food plot. It's definitely over my head. So up there. Yep. And if you're wondering what kind of plant it is, it doesn't matter because it's not going to be here. It's going to seed and everything. That's great. Let's get rid of the seeding portion and go cut that off, and we'll throw that. We'll get that out of the food plot so the seeds don't go down in here and end up in the seed bank. We'll take it right over here. And we'll put it someplace in the shade where nothing grows. Good place for it, right there. And this is 20 yards away from our new tree stand. How's that? So here's that tree stand. That looks pretty good. We do have a hemlock branch right here, but I think we're going to be shooting over that into the food plot. I won't know until we get up there, right? I bought this tree stand used off of Facebook. Never have a problem with that. Look them over good, of course. 75 bucks. It's not just a good bargain for a tree stand, but the fact that it was already assembled means a lot too. It's identical to the other one that I have right down there, down below, but that one's already set up. That one covers the ridge area down there, and it's a little bit far of a shot for Genevieve. Had to get different pins for it. So they got these bright, shiny pins on it because I had to go buy pins. It didn't come with the pins, but small price to pay for a tree stand that's already assembled. I have not sat in this tree stand yet because it's not attached to the tree. It's just leaning there. I'm going to climb up there and see what we can do.
I'm a tree stand hunter. That's what I was born to be. I'm a tree stand hunter. I like my own company. Sometimes I like to still hunt, sometimes I use a blind, but there's no replacement for my tree stand time. I dream up things I wanna do.
Well, the tree stand harness came in handy after all. I was able to show you what I did here, and I'm pretty happy with it. Pretty happy so far with the way this is turning out. I put this strap on here just kind of loose to hold the ladder in against the tree. And then I got this guy on here too, because this will stay here, but it holds the ladder, so you know that's the middle of the ladder hold kind of thing. Now my tree stand steps, this is the first time I used these ones. I had a similar pair before. I will put on the screen, don't remember the company. I think these are XOP, but they're the style I like. I like the two steps. I like to be able to stand there and think about what I'm doing before I move up to the next step. You know what I'm saying? And anymore, they want to sell you three, like one over here, a left, right, left kind of setup. I don't like that. So while these were still available, I think they're switching pretty much all of them to that new style. I bought these. These are lightweight. They aren't bad. I do like them. I'm no expert on the mobility thing, but I will tell you that these are coated with some kind of sand and paint. They are grabby, man. I got my feet caught in here, couldn't get out, getting up and down, which is good because you want traction, especially on a day like this when it's been raining, it's wet, it's going to rain on and off while I'm doing this stuff. But I really felt good on these. I do want to try this year to hunt out of a couple of hang-ons that I bought, some used tree stands, and I bought a real nice light one. I put the money into it, I put the time into it. This is another example of putting the time into it and practicing it. But I got up 2 steps on this, didn't feel bad at all, putting that top strap on the tree stand, right? And I'm going to go up, now that it's attached to the tree pretty tight, I'm going to go up and put one more strap on the top so it doesn't move at all. And then we'll see how it looks from up there, from our new ambush site. I found a problem with it already. If you look at our tree stand down there at the bottom of the ridge staging food plot, this is the one that I use to hunt over that ridge, and it's a good rut stand. There's a bar right below the foot platform. On our used Facebook special, there is no such bar, so now I've got to step from here all the way up to there. It's kind of a pain because I can do it because you got to put your knee on here, right? But then the problem is you put your knee on there and on that mesh without padding or something, it just about tears your knee apart. So made it. It is a muggy morning. Woo, sweating good. So you hear the crows off in the distance. I got the tree stand up here in this nice hemlock. If we look at this. I'm sitting in a 2-man, the way it is supposed to be. If we look right down there, that is heading down to a swampy area. Deer will come up out of there. They'll make their way right up this little ridge over here until they get down in here, and then they'll come into our ridge staging food plot. Over here, out there's where the truck is. Right over here is the 100-year-old apple tree. A lot of deer activity anticipated out through here. If we look out through here, look at these shooting lanes. Look at that, right off to your right. Got to turn a little bit. but lots of cover with hemlocks and whatnot. That'll still be nice cover in October. Deer come out through here as they're staging to go to the apple tree. We'll be able to get a shot at them right out through there, perhaps. Some of that brushy stuff right there, right there, I got to cut that, and I'll clean that up a little bit so I can get shots out in there. But here is the key to this stand. Here is the key to this stand, the ridge staging food plot. As that gets rehabilitated come fall, what I'm going to do is go through there, we'll rake it good, we'll plant a lot of some fast growing, throw and grow type variety, ryegrass, something like that, get that going in here. And it'll be enough to supplement that clover. The clover will provide some nitrogen for that new crop. That stuff will boost right up. I'll throw some fertilizer and lime on that, get it nice and green. Right now it's a little yellow. We'll get that nice and green, and you'll have a nice place to hunt over it. There's a branch right here, it needs to be chopped down. I will try to reach that from the ground or get a stick up here to whack it good, break it all off, clean that up good. And then right here, a couple little branches. We'll just little stuff, little tiny things. Don't need much for a shooting lane down there, but I might try to clean it up. I've had deer in there before over the years I've seen, but the deer that travel clear down there on that ridge, they're the ones that you target from that tree stand over there. Nice to have lots of options, so that depending on wind and the time of year and whether you're hunting this food plot or whether you're hunting the ridge during the rut where the deer seem to transition, the bucks start to move, nice to have lots of options. I just don't have time to do as much this year as I'd like to. That food plot by this time of year usually is on its way to being banner. Right now it is on its way to being absolutely nothing. It's just the same as it always is. I could probably hunt over that. You probably kill deer over that without doing anything to it. They're going to eat the chickweed, they're going to eat the clearweed, that kind of thing, and they're going to love the clover that's left in there. It's just a nice to have do the best you can, right? So I've been so busy, but the next video, we're still going to be putting up that other stand. We got a one man to go over here on the 100-year-old apple tree. So stay tuned. That's the next video, or next video about tree stands at least. Genevieve and I will get that one up, and we'll see where we go from there. I'm doing my best to keep up with Crossbow Appreciation Month, doing my best to get ready for the upcoming Crossbow Seasons, and bottom line is, I hope you are too. Right? We're all in this together. We're all in this for crossbow hunting success. Comment on this video. Let me know what you're doing this time of year to get ready for your season. And until next time, all hail Bungie. Isn't this a good spot for Bungie too? It's like a 20-yard shot max. Ooh, I'm thinking this is almost too good to pass up.